John, what's up? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all? How about y'all?
Doing good, man. So I'm glad you come on the show to do this with us. Why don't you talk for a minute about um how you became a Titans fan?
Well, my name is John Michael. I'm from Cadiz, Kentucky, so I'm an hour from Nashville. And in my childhood, I was a Packers fan up until the time the Oilers moved to Tennessee. And when the Oilers moved to Tennessee, I became an Oilers fan. And then 2 years later, they, officially moved to Nashville and rebranded as the Titans. And in that first year, I remember watching them go to the Super Bowl. They was pretty good team back then. Matter of fact, I'm playing a game right now behind me, the '99, wild card, the Music City Miracle. Man, I just have been a diehard fan ever since then, man. And I've seen a lot of ups and downs as a Titans fan. I mean, as y'all should know that. But the past few years haven't been so good. But I remember about the from 2016 till 2021. I mean, it was a good time to be a Titans fan again, and I'm hoping we get back to that this season. I'm hoping that Salah becomes the next Vrabel or even better. I'm hoping that
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that we take that next step this year, and I have all the faith in that we will.
Do you think Sala is better than Vrabel? And that's the basic question there. There's a lot more to that with the Bradley defense and the Dable offense, which I agree a lot with more of the deeper context of that question. But the basic question, man, I sure hope so. At least that's my answer. I sure hope he is, man. Right now it's a little early for me to tell, but I like the way he's approaching things. I feel like he has learned some new things since his last stint as a head coach. So I hope he's a little bit more prepared this time. And yeah, like you said, I have all the faith in the world that he's going to get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about fit, right? And I think that with Vrabel and Sala, you actually get something kind of similar in the way that they approach the culture of the locker room, and the way that I think even down to the way that they game plan, right? Like you've got two defensive-minded guys who know the way that they want things and who like to have some control over their staff, right? Like that's kind of what you get out of both. And I think Salah's definitely closer to a Vrabel than he is to a Callahan, right? So you see this organization kind of going back to that Vrabel style of football. But then on the other hand, it's tough to say what Vrabel is as a coach. Now he's in a little bit of hot water right now, so take this with a grain of salt. But with him in New England to do what he did, and you can argue that the talent was there, and the coaching staff was a bunch of head coaches as coordinator. Like you can make those arguments, right? But he went to a 3-win football team and won an AFC championship and took them to a Super Bowl. Like not a lot of head coaches can say that. So it's all about the fit, right? So you hope that Saleh, I don't know if you can say is a better coach, but you hope that he's a better fit because towards the end, you saw the differences that Vrabel had with the players and with the organization and with the decisions that were being made by the ownership. Like there was a rift, there was an obvious rift there, and when that New England job opened up, you knew that was his to take, right? Like it was all kind of written in the stars. But you hope that Saleh coming in is more aligned with Borgonzi and with Amy Adams Strunk, and that these people can get on the same page. And I think you're seeing some of that with, now that Brinker's moving on. He was kind of the last one that was left of that old guard, right? He was kind of the last one left in what got us to this point with the J Robs. And, so now you've got the new guard in, you've got Amy Adams Strunk, you've got a new stadium being built, you've got a new coaching staff, you've got arguably one of the best coaching staffs in the AFC, if not the NFL, right? Like you've put together a pretty good unit on paper. So I think if the pieces are there and if the coaches can get some development out of Cam Ward and some of the younger guys, then
Yep.
they could make a run, especially in a division that still seems to be wide open, right? You don't know what the Colts are. Houston is Houston. They're going to find a way to screw it up. Same with Jacksonville. Like, it's there for the taking. I feel like this team's still 2 to 3 years away, but anything can happen, right? So, yeah, I think it's a good fit initially, and we'll see what happens.
Right on. Any rebuttal or anything you want to say, John?
Yeah, I kind of like what, both of y'all had to say, but, especially what Link had to say there. You kind of hope that Salah is the right fit, as Vrabel was at the time he came in 2018 and took over from Malarkey. And both of the guys are similar, though, defensive-minded head coaches. And defensive-minded head coaches tend to succeed with good quarterbacks and usually have a good offense. But the thing about Salah is that, Vrabel came from Houston when he came to Tennessee, and the Texas defense was, pretty good, top 10 and a lot of stuff, top 5 too. They had J.J. Watt and Clowney and all them. But, Salah, where he got the bad rep was being in that dumpster fire up there in New York. And now that, he just never got the first shot. But if you look at one thing, his defense was always usually in like a top 5 or top 10 category up there. I remember the year that Rodgers tore his Achilles with the first couple plays of the game. His defense was Super Bowl caliber that year. I mean, and was not like that the year before. But what they was middle class, but I mean, he just had a solid defense, and it was just such a bad situation that he didn't have the quarterback, to operate. And now that he has Cam Ward, a young quarterback, to operate the offense behind somebody like Dable. Dable didn't have a lot of success to coach up at the Giants, except that one year with Daniel Jones. And we all see what kind of happened with Daniel Jones last year in the coach. It lightning in a bottle, I believe. But, I think Dabo, when he was with Josh Allen for those few years before he transitioned to head coach in New York, man, Josh Allen was the most talked about turnaround quarterback that in the league. I mean, and he was. I mean, he was on fire. I mean, because I remember him coming in 2000, was it 18 or 17 when he came into the league, that he wasn't all that great first rookie season, but next season with Dabo and on to the time Dabo left, Josh Allen was healed. And I think that he's going to get that out of Cam Ward. Of course, he wanted to draft Cam Ward and bring him to New York. They ended up getting Jackson Dart because we, obviously took Cam Ward. So I think that it's going to be a lot of success in the offense too, So it's a lot behind that. I mean, drafted Carnell Tate, surprised to a lot of people. But Carnell Tate can be the number one receiver that we've been looking to replace A.J. Brown. He could be that. He could be even better. I mean, we don't know yet, but I just have the feeling that he's going to be really, really good. And he's got Ridley on his side. He's got Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, who is a good receiver in New York, out of Kentucky Wildcats, and he was dominant there, and Nebraska. I mean, he was good everywhere he's been. He's got to help. Tim DK is going to step it up this year, I think. Elick Ailman, you know what I mean? All that is going to come to a head. And then somebody that y'all been talking about that was an undrafted free agency that I'm high on is wide receiver Tyron Montgomery, man. If you watch his highlights, that guy gets open. Yes, it was D3 and people he was playing against, but he got the invite to the Senior Bowl and showed out there. Titans are going to be in a lot better shape this year than a lot of people think. That we got a lot of haters in the crowd, but I got the faith that we're going to at least make the playoffs this year. So, I could be wrong, but
what's your over/under? What's your over/under for win total this season?
I would like to think 9 and 8. If you're going to try to at least be realistic, but I think that there's potential for more. But 9 and 8, you know what I mean? We're in a very winnable division. Like I said,
is that your floor? Are you dissatisfied with anything less than 9? If let's say this team is a 4 or 5 win team, where are you at the end of the year? Where's your headspace? And I know it's nuanced because it all depends on Cam Ward staying healthy, and let's remember, this is the only quarterback who played 17 games last year. There is a real possibility that you're going to need a backup to step up at some point this season. But that's a conversation for down the road. So I know there's nuance to this, but what is your floor that you're comfortable with as it stands today?
I mean, you'd want to say 9-8, but if they went 7-10, it'd be really dissatisfying. But it could be real, I could see that possibly happen. Very slim chance in my outlook, just on paper, and just the fact that my knowledge of everything, on the roster and the coaching situation. But I think that we're going to do good this year. I just think that 9-8 is a realistic, number that we're going to at least finish with a winning record.
I like the positivity. I like it. Without a scoop here, it's good to have some positivity. And I guess my question would be, if you do have that 4-win season, if you find out that yes, we are still in this rebuild, and these rookies, they still have a long way to go, and we're questioning some development. I mean, are you ready to let go of this coach? And I know we're way down the road, but like, where are we at with your comfort level on this coaching staff? If it takes them 2 years to sort this out, are you okay with that patience?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I never give up on your team. Never give up on your team. But I mean, it could take the first year to work out the kinks, because you got to think there's a couple of head coaches, in Bradley and Sala and Dabo, all on one staff. And you never know how that can mix. But I think that they put together a good staff to work in accordance with each other, that they're going to have some positive results. Definitely more than 3 wins, and I, would like to hope more than 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Right on, man. Well, any shout outs you want to give out, John, before we let you go?
Yeah, to my girlfriend, Brittany and Oakley, they're watching from somewhere else they left, so that I can have quiet here. My brother's watching David from the hospital. My cousin Courtney, Brent, they're watching. My mom, all that. My kids, Kyra and Gage, I know that they're probably watching. I sent them the links and all that, and just everybody that's supporting me tonight and watching this, and then supporting y'all. I'm trying to help y'all grow, because I've been watching y'all for the past couple months. So I'm trying to help y'all grow as well.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Awesome. Absolutely, man.
All right, man. I had a really good time on with you tonight. Hopefully this will happen more in the next week. We want to do one more of these shows. So anybody out there that's watching this, you want to do this, you want to come on and be like John, all you got to do is come up with a good question and hit me up. You can find me anywhere. But anyway, thank you, John. We appreciate you coming on, brother.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me, man. It's been awesome, man. I love talking Titans football.
Absolutely.
Right on, man. Tighten up, brother.
Tighten up.